brazen burglars break down doors in one New Mexico town, and they didn't stop there. Michael Jackson's doctor learns his sentence for killing the king of pop. And they've used cars, trains, and trucks, but one bold drug smuggler used a commercial airliner to transport drugs right here in Albuquerque. Good afternoon, I'm Kim Baez. Authorities from 3 different states worked together to stop more than 60 pounds of illegal drugs from getting through the Albuquerque Sunport. It was hidden in one woman's checked luggage. News 13's Scott Daniels joins us live at the Sunport with the story.
Kim, the suspected drug mule was traveling from Tucson to Dallas yesterday. When her connecting flight stopped here in Albuquerque, police cornered her.
It passed through security.
20-year-old Misha Bell from Wichita Falls, Texas, checked in her 2 bags in Tucson. Police say they were packed with pot. One suitcase with 30 pounds of marijuana was confiscated by TSA in Tucson. The other made it this far to Albuquerque. But police didn't know what Bell looked like until she slipped up.
She actually checked with the airline to verify her bags made the trip, which allowed us to identify her physically.
Police caught up with her by her flight's gate. A drug-sniffing dog found her suitcase among all of the checked-in bags. Police then had probable cause, and when they opened up Bell's luggage, voila. Police say they took the pot right here and weighed it on the baggage scale, weighing 33.5 pounds.
Absolutely. It's accurate and checked on a regular basis.
Police say Bell had been paid to smuggle the marijuana for a drug dealer. For her troubles, she would get $850 if she made it successfully to Dallas. The 20-year-old admitted to police she had done this before, but police say she's no pro.
I would say so far it's been dumb luck, nothing more.
Instead of making it to Texas, Bell made her first appearance today in Metro Court. She's charged with marijuana possession.
Airline ticket, money for food, money for a hotel, and then $850 cash. For some people, sounds like a deal.
Right now, Bell is facing state charges, but could face federal charges. She could also face charges in Tucson, where one of her bags was confiscated. Kim, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Now, police say the plan was for Bell to arrive in Dallas, make a switch for the money, then she would turn around and do it all over again. A lawsuit has been filed on behalf of an elderly Hobbs woman who died after eating contaminated cantaloupe. 96-year-old Florence Wilcox is among 5 New Mexicans who died in the listeria outbreak this fall. The lawsuit is against Jensen Farms of Colorado and 2 food safety auditors. It claims the auditors gave the farm a superior rating for safety and quality just weeks before health officials identified the source of the contamination. The assistant basketball coach from Oklahoma State University who died in a plane crash was buried over the weekend here in New Mexico. Funeral services were held for Miranda Serna on Saturday in Mora. She and head coach Kurt Budke were killed during a recruiting trip earlier this month when the single-engine plane they were in crashed near Little Rock, Arkansas. Serna played at El Dorado High School in Albuquerque in the 90s. The cause of the crash is still being investigated. However, a preliminary report shows the plane banked to the right and disappeared from radar just before it went down. A FedEx truck that was leaking fuel made a mess of Interstate 25 this morning. The truck was stopped northbound at Montgomery because of the leak. Crews had to shut down at least 2 lanes of traffic for a while to clean it all up. A new 10,000 square foot state-of-the-art senior facility opened today in Albuquerque. Casa Kitchen was unveiled on Karsten Court Southwest, which is near Gibson and Broadway. The mayor says Casa Kitchen will not only provide thousands of home-delivered meals for the elderly in Albuquerque, it will also act as a safety net for those who live alone. For many seniors, it is the only interaction they have in a day.
Today we're taking a big step toward helping our local homebound seniors. The Casa Kitchen that we're standing in today will be able to provide up to 2,500 meals a day for these individuals in the city of Albuquerque.
It cost $4.3 million to build Casa Kitchen. The money came from bonds and state grants. Well, if you think it's cold now, it's going to get a whole lot colder. A storm is heading our way. Here's meteorologist Mark Ronchetti.
Yeah, Kim, and not only a storm, but much colder air in place before that storm even gets here. So most of what we're going to see is going to end up being snow across a good portion of the state. But that's still a couple days away. For today, a cold front across the eastern side of New Mexico has knocked down temperatures significantly. 52 in Raton, 45 Las Vegas, 46 in Clayton, 50 in Tucumcari and Clovis, 55 out in Roswell. And as you compare these temperatures to where we were yesterday, temps a lot colder. 21 degrees cooler in Clayton, 17 degrees cooler Las Vegas, 18 Tucumcari, and 21 degrees cooler out in Clovis. Here in the metro, a degree or so cooler. Really central and western sections haven't changed all that much. But as we get ready for this next storm, we'll see one more pretty good day tomorrow before everything starts to change. And we get big time winds and temperatures dropping as cold as they have all season. We're not going to get out of the 30s later on this week. Details in your full forecast come out.
The nation's third largest airline has filed for bankruptcy. Randall Pinkston reports from LaGuardia Airport on what drove American Airlines to this point and what it means for travelers.
It was business as usual for travelers at LaGuardia Airport, just hours after news that the parent company of American Airlines is filing for bankruptcy.
We figured our flight would still be on time.
The company's new CEO says the airline will operate normally throughout the bankruptcy process, continuing to run flights, honor tickets, and take reservations. But it will likely trim its flight schedule, which could lead to layoffs.
The path ahead will be hard, but it's a well-worn path, and we will make the company successful.
American is the last major U.S. airline to file for bankruptcy. Its competitors have already cut billions in costs through Chapter 11 reorganization.
It's a shame they didn't do it when the other guys did, because now they're going to have to do it now.
The recession and the rising cost of fuel have hurt the airlines. They've used bankruptcy filings to unload debt and reduce labor costs. American is negotiating a new contract with its pilots union, and operating in Chapter 11 allows the company to take a tougher position.
We will quickly be getting back with them and talking about how we work together to create the outcome we seek, which is a competitive, profitable company.
The pilots union calls it a somber occasion and described American as an airline that has lost its way. But having suffered over $10 billion in losses over the past decade, the company says bankruptcy is the best way forward. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, New York.
American Airlines' new CEO, Thomas Horton, was already with the company as their president. An early rally on Wall Street lost some steam by the closing bell. The Dow rose nearly 33 points on news that consumer confidence rebounded this month, but the Nasdaq slipped almost 12 points. The S&P was up almost 3. Michael Jackson's doctor got the maximum sentence today for the singer's death. Dr. Conrad Murray was sentenced to 4 years in prison. And as Begad Shaban reports, the judge called Murray a disgrace to the medical profession.
Sheriff's deputies escorted Michael Jackson's personal physician out of the courtroom and back to jail after a judge sentenced him to the maximum punishment for involuntary manslaughter.
He has absolutely no sense of remorse, absolutely no sense of fault, and is and remains dangerous.
Judge Michael Pastor sentenced Dr. Conrad Murray to 4 years in prison, just as prosecutors requested.
The defendant was playing Russian roulette with Michael Jackson's life every single night.
Jackson's mother and several of his siblings, including LaToya and Jermaine, attended the sentencing. Jackson's children did not.
You can't bring Michael back, he's gone.
We'll never be satisfied because Michael's not coming back.
In court, the Jackson family asked for the maximum sentence. An attorney read a statement on their behalf.
We are not here to seek revenge. There is nothing you can do today that will bring Michael back.
Prosecutors blamed Murray for giving the surgical anesthetic propofol to Jackson and failing to monitor him. Murray's defense wanted probation, arguing that Murray should be judged for his entire life, not just the 2 months he treated Jackson.
On probation, he can do things for the community. On probation that he could never do sitting in that little room.
Sheriff officials say because of overcrowding, Murray will likely serve a little less than 2 years behind bars. Before leaving court, the doctor blew someone a kiss. Begad Shaban, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Prosecutors have also asked the court to order Murray to pay more than $100 million in restitution to Jackson's children. The judge has not yet made a decision on that. Coming up on News 13 at 5:30, the red light cameras will go dark, but there is still a lot of outstanding tickets out there. So what will become of those? Details coming up at 5:30. And coming up next, New Mexico will receive funding to overhaul health care here in the state. We'll tell you how. Also, there was a lot of talk about Cyber Monday not being as great as years past. Well, it seems the shoppers didn't listen, and people are still browsing the web in search of great deals. Turns out some of the best deals are yet to come. But be careful who you buy from. That story also ahead.
I'm Tech Sergeant Romero, stationed at Incirlik Air Force Base, and we are the Romero family. We want to wish everybody a happy and very Merry Christmas from all of us here. We love you.
Brought to you by your neighborhood Napa Auto Care Center.
Now, from the Newsplex, Ken Baez and Mark Ronchetti. This is KRQE News 13 at 4 in high definition.
New Mexico is among 13 states getting more money from the feds to carry out the president's health care plan. The Health and Human Services Secretary says the states will split grants totaling nearly $220 million. The money will be used to set up health insurance exchanges, which will enable millions of uninsured Americans to buy private coverage through online supermarkets starting in 2014. If you are baking with dried cranberries this season, you need to check the packaging. Ocean Spray is recalling thousands of pounds of craisins after some packages were possibly contaminated with small metal fragments. It affects the 5, 10, and 48-ounce packages with the best buy dates of October 27, 2012. No injuries have been reported, but if you have this product, throw it away. Cyber Monday turned into Super Monday for retailers with a record number of people shopping online yesterday. Sales were up about 20% compared to the same time last year, and nearly 7% used a mobile device to shop, which is up from about 2% last year. Experts say these Cyber Monday numbers show Americans have become more comfortable with their computers, tablets, and smartphones. We will get a better picture of how holiday sales are shaping up on Thursday when major retailers report their overall November sales. And online shopping does not stop after Cyber Monday. Some retailers are supposedly holding out some of their best deals until later in the season. But you need to be careful who you buy from. Here's Karen Cava.
Cyber Monday gets the buzz for big deals, but when it comes to holiday shopping online, it's just the beginning.
So it's not just Cyber Monday anymore. It's really Cyber Week. So you'll see Walmart and Target and the like really extending those deals and rolling out new deals each day.
So keep online safety tips in mind all season long and be wary of websites that are unfamiliar. After all, scammers don't limit themselves to just one day either.
Look for words like replica, cheap, any misspellings in the website. If the website doesn't have a particularly good background of who it's operated by and where to go if something goes wrong, know your supplier.
Storing credit card information on a site you frequent can be convenient, but also risky if there's a data breach. And it's also a good season to make sure your online passwords are strong. When you do order, try to get shipping for free.
Freeshipping.org has thousands and thousands of free shipping codes, free and clear for you to use. And we know that a lot of e-tailers have spending thresholds, but freeshipping.org gives you those codes.
Also be careful how much online shopping you do at the office. CareerBuilder found half of companies surveyed monitor the internet and email use of employees, and 7% said they've even fired someone for too much holiday shopping on the job. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Caifa.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah, I gotta stop doing that. I mean, I'm over there ordering all kinds of stuff.
I know.
I know. It's unbelievable. Any other, you got any tips for?
No, I'm not a good online shopper.
Oh, really?
No.
That seems to be a bit of a hole in your strategy.
I know.
Okay. Because, you know, you are the ultimate couponer.
You know why? Because I'm on a computer all day at work, and so I don't want to be on a computer at home.
I understand. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the Taos HD Cam. Best shot in the business right here as we look over the northern mountains. And this is an area that is most likely going to get hit pretty hard over the next 4 to 5 days, and really starting on Thursday night. And as a cold front comes in, we'll start to see some snow there then, and then probably much more snow coming in for Friday and Saturday, but beautiful stuff there. We already have a high wind watch in effect for the Albuquerque metro area coming up for Thursday. We could well see sustained winds 35 to 45 miles an hour. Gusts 60 plus miles an hour will be possible here in the metro right at the mouth of the canyon. This stretches up into Santa Fe as well, where we could see some very gusty winds there too. This is going to be a rough deal, and things are really going to start to change after tomorrow. So if you have anything outside you want to get done during the day, tomorrow is not going to be such a bad call, because by Thursday, temperatures will drop like a rock, and it's that cold front coming in from the east that's going to shoot through the canyons and really create major problems coming up for Thursday for wind and then possibly snow Friday and Saturday. 58 degrees in the metro area. Winds right now are not a factor. They're calm. Across the north, temps have gone down quite a bit across eastern New Mexico. The rest of the north is doing okay. 50 in Taos, 50 Los Alamos, 51 in Durango. Pretty comfortable here in the metro, about where we were yesterday. Down to the south, temperatures in the 50s and 60s. The cloud cover wasn't a huge factor throughout the day, but as we push some of that cooler air in, the clouds started to clear back behind, and now things are very, very nice. And throughout a good portion of tomorrow, they'll be nice as well. But a storm system is gathering up over the Pacific Northwest, and that's what is going to drop in our direction along with a lot of cold air. So mild again for tomorrow. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies across the state. Then cold front number 1 comes in on Thursday. This one drives in cool air, temperatures in the 40s by Thursday afternoon with a ton of wind out there with this first shot. And then the actual storm starts to drop down, and this will slide across the state late Friday into Saturday. Well, it's going to have a ton of cold air in place with reinforcing shots of cold air coming through along with the storm system. So we could be looking at widespread snow possible for Friday and into Saturday as well. Our best looking snowstorm in probably a year and a half at this point, it looks like. And part of what makes this storm dangerous is the fact that as the storm drops down, it's going to be cold. We're going to be in the 30s across valley sections. In the mountains, we're going to be in the 20s and maybe even some teens. So as this thing comes on across here and sets up to our west, we'll draw some moisture in across the state here. So that looks pretty good. And as it slowly migrates across, you give it time to develop that snow over the mountains. And that's what we'll be looking at throughout the day coming up on Friday and into Saturday, and maybe a valley mix, but it's looking more and more like we could even see snow here in the valley, and that slow movement could be real key to giving us a lot of snow over the mountains. And even here in the metro area, it's really too early to rule out the possibility of a decent snowstorm even along the valley floor. I'm not as concerned about that because usually it ends up being a long shot for us, but this storm's got some real potential with it. 40s and 50s across southern Colorado for tomorrow. Then we start seeing the increasing chances of snow Thursday, Friday, and maybe even Saturday. As you get down over into the north and west, temperatures here for the most part in the 50s, partly cloudy skies. Then the chance at snow and rain-snow mixes develop later on Thursday, but really Friday and Saturday. Down into the south and west, pretty quiet through Thursday. Then increasing clouds Friday, and the chance at picking up rain-snow mixes across the area, and of course some snow up over into the Gila. South and east, mostly sunny tomorrow, looks good. Temperatures drop on Thursday with that first impulse of cool air, and then it really gets cold. Highs in Roswell on Friday and Saturday are going to be in the 30s with mostly cloudy skies and that chance at snow. North and east, this is where the temperatures fall off a cliff. Check it out on Thursday with the first cold front. 35 degrees and snow showers. Friday into Saturday, some heavier snows are possible with a high on Saturday of 24 in Las Vegas. This is getting to the point where this stuff could really be something we need to keep a very close eye on. 40s and 50s over the northern mountains tomorrow. Then the temperatures drop very quickly on Thursday and on Friday. On Saturday, temps in the 20s in Santa Fe. 60. Sandia Park tomorrow. 62 Edgewood, 56 Estancia. Winds out of the south 10 to 20. Here in the metro tomorrow, not bad. Winds out of the south 10 to 15, plenty of sunshine, looks good. But then here we go again in the metro. Watch Thursday, not for the temperature. Yeah, it's going to be cold. But Kim, we could see a wind gust over 60 miles an hour in the city on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, possibility of snow with highs in the 30s.
Great, cold and windy.
Hey, here comes winter.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Three men have come forward to claim a huge lottery jackpot, but are they the real winners? Why some questions are being raised next. And first at 4:30, bold burglars are busting down doors in one New Mexico town. In some cases, the homeowners were there and were threatened with guns. And he was awarded the nation's highest military honor. Now, this Medal of Honor recipient is suing his former employer, what he claims in a lawsuit at 4:38. And at 4:44, a football feud that has spanned nearly 50 years takes a toll on a couple of elderly men. It ends with fists and a cane. Three men have come forward to claim one of the largest lottery jackpots in history. And these three are no strangers to big money. Ainsley Earhart has a story.
In their day jobs, the three men work at an $82 million asset management firm that provides investment advice to wealthy individuals. Now the wealth managers have more than $103 million of their own after taxes to play with. They plan to donate a large amount of the winnings to worthy causes.
Obviously, everybody's extremely excited. These numbers are huge. This is going to benefit many people. Since the winning numbers were drawn, all of our attention has been getting to this point, just claiming we haven't really thought about what the use of the money is going to be, although the one thing we do know is that a significant amount will be going to Connecticut charities.
One of the winners spent $1 on a single Quick Pick ticket at the Shipping Point BP gas station in Stamford, Connecticut. A computer chose the random numbers for them. The station receives $100,000 for selling the winning ticket.
Very happy and busy with the phones. People are calling us for directions. They want to buy ticket from a lucky store.
The jackpot is reported to be the largest ever won in Connecticut and 12th largest in Powerball history. In New York, Ainsley Earhart, Fox News.
Now to the controversy surrounding the winners. There are claims that those men are covering for the real winner who wants to stay anonymous. Thomas Gladstone, who identified himself as the landlord for the men's company, says one of the men told him they're actually representing the winner because he wants to remain unnamed. Now, the Connecticut Lottery Corporation says the winners are the people determined whoever is holding the ticket, so the men will get the money. In our next half hour, burglars are busting into homes in one New Mexico town, and police say they don't care what's in their path, including doors or even a pit bull. Also ahead.
I'm Tara Merchiner at the White House. Coming up, allegations of an affair have Herman Cain reevaluating his strategy.
And the man who went on a killing spree in Norway last year may never go to prison. Those stories and more next on News 13, first at 4:30. Good afternoon, I'm Kim Baez. Burglars were busy over the Thanksgiving weekend in southeastern New Mexico, and the tactics they used to get what they wanted were downright scary. News 13's Gabrielle Burkhart is live in Roswell with the story.
Kim, in some of the recent cases, the victims weren't making themselves easy targets, but that didn't stop the thieves who were armed and violent. Over the weekend, there were at least 10 burglaries reported to Roswell police, cases ranging from home break-ins to vehicle burglaries and shoplifting.
This time of year, we tend to see a rise in burglaries. Just goes hand in hand with the season.
At least 3 homes, the crooks kicked in the door, knocking one door completely off the frame. One man was home when someone burst through his front door, pointed a gun at him, and ordered him to get on the ground. But the homeowner had his cell phone in hand and dialed 911. The suspects fled when they realized what he did. Police have some advice on how to prevent this from happening to you.
Let people know you're there. Do something to make them know that they're not alone. It can be potentially dangerous, but they don't want to have to deal with you. Burglaries tend to want to get away versus do harm.
One couple was away for Thanksgiving when burglars kicked in their back door. The crooks went right past the family's pit bull guard dog and proceeded to ransack their house. They stole a TV along with video games, a DVD player, and a rifle. This woman did not want to go on camera, but says she's thankful she wasn't home when burglars hit her apartment over the weekend.
The door was kicked in, the frame was off the door, and they had taken, PlayStation 2, DVD players, all the DVDs. China cabinets were broken, glass everywhere.
Police recommend you take pictures of your expensive belongings, such as electronics and other items popular with thieves. They say doing that, along with recording the serial numbers, will help if those items end up stolen.
Police officers find large stashes of stuff that have been taken from people, and we have no way to return it because we don't have an identity for it.
Most of the items reported stolen over the weekend were electronics, the same items many people are buying right now as gifts. So far, no one has been arrested. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Gabrielle. Now, police say about 90% of the burglaries are drug-related. It's an easy way for these people to get some money. Carlsbad police are looking to the public for help solving a shooting last week. Officers say on November 20th, a group of young men got into a fight at the Allsups on National Parks Highway. When some of the men left, one of the guys standing in the parking lot opened fire, hitting the car and a person inside. The 22-year-old victim is expected to survive. If you have any information, please call Carlsbad Police. The one person who did not take a deal in the Columbus gun smuggling case is scheduled to go on trial next month. Gabriel Gutierrez, the wife of former village trustee Blas Gutierrez, is charged with conspiracy, making false statements and smuggling goods from the U.S. A trial date of December 12th has been set. Gutierrez is accused of helping purchase firearms in the U.S., knowing the intention was to smuggle them to Mexico. She's also accused of recruiting straw purchasers. Gutierrez is one of 14 defendants in the case. She faces a possible 35 years in federal prison. Aztec could be losing its police department. City officials are looking at possibly outsourcing police duties to the San Juan County Sheriff's Office to save money. The department operates on a $1.5 million annual budget and employs 15 full-time officers, but they only cover roughly 13 square miles. The Aztec Police Department is the smallest accredited department in the state. It's going to get loud at night in the areas around Holloman Air Force Base in Alamogordo. The base says the 49th Fighter Wing will be doing nighttime F-22 Raptor training for the next 2 weeks. They warned there will be more noise, possibly sonic booms over White Sands, also in Otero, Lincoln, and Doña counties. Another winter storm is coming our way. Here's meteorologist Mark Ronchetti.
Yeah, and Kim, this will be the coldest one of the season. It is right over the Pacific Northwest as we speak. There it is, churning right toward Vancouver Island here. And as it does start to drop down, a lot of things are going to change before the actual storm gets here. Now, the track on this storm looks pretty good as we show it coming down into Arizona as we head into late Thursday and Friday, and then really later on Friday and Saturday. The storm itself will cross the state. We may have another one right behind this one. But what makes this storm a real concern is the fact that we are going to have cold air in place over the state before the storm even gets here. So everything that starts to fall here by the time we hit Thursday with the first cold front and then Friday and Saturday with the storm itself will most likely be in the form of snow in most areas of the state, including the Albuquerque area. So coming up, we'll take a look at your full forecast here and break it down. But we will have to contend with a ton of wind as well with this storm, especially in advance of the storm actually arriving. So we'll have all that coming up for you in just a few minutes.
GOP presidential hopeful Herman Cain is rethinking his campaign strategy in the wake of new allegations. This time, an Atlanta woman claims the two had a 13-year affair. Tara Mergener has the latest from Washington.
Herman Cain's trying to assess whether an accusation about an extramarital affair will drive supporters away. Atlanta businesswoman Ginger White says she had a 13-year relationship with a candidate that ended just before he started his campaign. Hours before her story aired on an Atlanta TV station, Cain was already denying the allegation.
I have nothing to hide. I have done nothing wrong.
On a conference call Tuesday, Cain told staffers the allegations from White and other women have taken a toll on his family. He was leading national polls until the first accusations surfaced in late October. Since then, he slipped from 30% to around 13%.
I like that.
Fellow candidate Newt Gingrich told CBS News this doesn't mean Cain's out of the race.
I was supposed to be dead in June and July. I am not going to go around and declare anybody else dead. I think any candidate has the right to try to recover.
As Cain's support slips, Gingrich is gaining ground. The former House Speaker is leading most of the national polls.
Gingrich is on a 3-day campaign swing through South Carolina. He's fighting hard to show voters he's the Republican Party's best choice to challenge the current president next November.
My primary opponent is President Obama.
He said he's not the perfect candidate, but insists he's more conservative than his rival Mitt Romney and more electable than the rest of the Republican field. Tara Mergener for CBS News, the White House.
You can see more of the interview with Newt Gingrich on the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley. And Herman Cain is still planning to deliver a major foreign policy speech in Michigan tonight. A judge has ruled that an Idaho man accused of firing shots at the White House is competent to stand trial. Ramiro Ortega Hernandez is charged with attempted assassination after allegedly shooting at the White House with an assault rifle on November 11th. At least one bullet hit a window. Ortega Hernandez was arrested at a Pennsylvania hotel 5 days later. Prosecutors are asking for additional mental exams as the case moves forward. Another hearing is scheduled for next month. The Norway man who murdered 77 people last summer may never go to prison. Anders Breivik went on a rampage in July, bombing a government building, then opening fire on young campers. Psychiatrists say Breivik was insane at the time. That means he could be committed to a mental hospital instead of prison. Before any final decision, another panel of psychiatrists will review the case. Breivik wrote in a manifesto that he was determined to keep non-Christians and immigrants from taking over Europe. Dozens of protesters attacked the British embassy in Iran. Diplomatic tensions are building between the two countries after a new round of sanctions. Heather Kovar reports.
Massive crowds rallied outside the British embassy in Tehran as angry student protesters stormed the building. They broke through barricades, rushing past guards to get inside, and smashed a framed picture of Queen Elizabeth. Iranian demonstrators waved Islamic flags and some threw firebombs. Later, they attacked a second British embassy nearby. Reports say protesters took 6 employees hostage and eventually released them.
The violence comes after Britain imposed new sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program. London banned all British banks from doing business with Iran.
That prompted Iran's parliament to pass a bill reducing diplomatic relations with Britain. Lawmakers chanted, "Death to England." This politician said British traitors should be dealt with in a serious fashion. In Parliament in Tehran Sunday, a lawmaker said Iranians angered over the sanctions could take actions just as they did against the U.S. Embassy in 1979. These attackers are reportedly hardline Iranian students, angry over the latest strained diplomatic relations. Heather Kovar for CBS News, London.
America's newest Medal of Honor recipient is suing his former employer. Dakota Meyer has filed a lawsuit against defense contractor BAE Systems. He claims the company and his supervisor punished him for his opposition to a weapons sale to Pakistan. Meyer also alleges they prevented him from finding other work by saying he was mentally unstable and had a drinking problem. A spokesman from BAE denies the allegations. Up next, an admitted thief tries to make amends decades after stealing money from a Sears store. Find out what he did to make things right. Also ahead, these two former athletes probably don't know what a YouTube sensation is. Now they are one. The fight for the ages when we return.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Eva Size, serving in New Kabul compound in Kabul, Afghanistan. I'd like to say hello to my mother, Angela, Sam, and the extended Garcia family in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I love you, miss you. See you real soon.
Brought to you by your neighborhood Napa Auto Care Center.
A Washington state man comes clean after having a 60-year-old secret. The manager at a Sears store says an elderly gentleman hand-delivered an envelope, this one, to the store. It was a confession letter.
During the late 40s, I stole some money from the cash register in the amount of $20 to $30.
It also says he wanted to pay him back, and there was a $100 bill. That includes the stolen money plus some interest. The note said to put the money in the store's theft account, but the store says they will instead donate the money to help some disadvantaged families during the holidays. Talk about a late hit. Two former football players in their 70s fought with fists and a cane over a grudge that has lasted almost half a century. Well, the fight happened on stage and on camera. Jeannie Mose has the blow-by-blow.
throw the flag for unnecessary roughness. And two former football greats go at it over an ancient grudge. MC Ron James called it
a couple of septuagenarians duking it out,
while others called it a geezer fight. It started at a Vancouver luncheon when former quarterback Joe Kapp took a flower from a centerpiece and extended it to his rival, who responded. When Kapp swatted Angelo Mosca with the flower, Mosca used his cane to knock Kapp's glasses off. Then Kapp decked him with a 1-2 punch. Ironic that Mosca's new book is entitled Tell Me to My Face. Even more ironic was the first word out of Kapp's mouth after the fight. Sportsmanship! Mosca says once he was knocked down, Kapp still didn't stop.
I'm 74 years old and I don't walk very good with a cane, and I have no balance. Down I went. When I went down, he kicked me.
See if you see it. Not that Mosca hasn't kicked a few guys in his days as a wrestler after retiring from football.
Angelo King Kong Mosca.
But King Kong Mosca wasn't beating his chest after this one.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous that it ever happened.
The grudge goes back 48 years. It was a Canadian Football League championship game. Then quarterback Kapp was mad because Mosca made what was widely considered a dirty hit that knocked one of Kapp's teammates out of the game. Fast forward almost 5 decades.
I'm not going to sit there and have someone stuff a flower in my nose.
Later, Kapp told a weird story, quoting the player Angelo Mosca, injured 48 years ago.
I named my dog Angelo, and I kick the out of that dog every day.
A couple of grumpy old football players. It's like a scene right out of the movie Grumpy Old Men.
You can shove that pole!
Only in Grumpy Old Men, the weapon of choice was a fish rather than a flower.
All I can do is apologize.
Before the fight, Mosca offered his hand and Kapp ignored it. After the fight, it was the other way around. A YouTube poster summed it up this way: toothless, but still ruthless. Jeannie Moe, CNN, New York.
Boys behaving badly.
Embarrassing.
I'll say. It is.
They must have both probably like.
Yeah, after the fact,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Show that to your grandkids.
Yeah, they'd be
Could you
proud of you.
imagine?
Way to go.
Probably they probably were.
But cane, at first I thought it was a sword. I didn't know what he was swinging at.
I don't know, they do make those swords that come out of the canes.
When we first saw it, and I was like, what is he hitting? And the poor guy's got a cane.
It's bad.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and show you what's going on. We start with a shot from Sandia Peak, where all is quiet, at least for now. But things will get more interesting as we head through the next couple of days. But clear skies for today, not early on though. We had plenty of cloud cover early in the day, but then heading throughout the day, the clouds dissipated, and tomorrow will be a largely sunny day before it gets, well, at least the wheels start to come off by Thursday. Up around Kachina Peak in the Taos Ski Valley, there is some snow, and actually doing okay for a base around the Ski Valley and areas like Red River, but they're going to do much better, it looks like, coming up over the next, say, 3 to 4 days. We're really going to have the chance to add in a lot more snow across the northern mountains. As far as what to watch for first, well, it will be wind here in the metro area. There is a high wind watch for Thursday. So throughout the day tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. Winds won't be a huge factor, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Then a strong cold front's going to come in to the eastern side of the state. That front will then squeeze through the Tijeras Canyon and lead to a lot of wind across the metro area starting around midday Thursday and lasting through Thursday night. Could see some wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour here in and around the metro, especially along that I-40 corridor just out of the canyon. Could be really, really windy stuff. So we do have to watch out for that. And then the storm system drops in for Friday and Saturday. 58 degrees right now in the metro. Winds, not a factor, at least for now. As far as those temperatures go across the north, 40s and 50s for the most part, down to the south, 40s and 50s as well. Although Deming a bit warmer at 62, but the eastern side of the state is significantly cooler today as a weak front has not made its way all the way through central sections, but it's not necessarily a weak front across eastern New Mexico where we have those drops around 15 to 20 degrees. Tomorrow, though, We're going to see the temps go right back up again. So this front is not the kind of front that has some deep cold air with it, but it does have enough to knock down temperatures at least for today. Then temperatures go up for a day before they crater for everybody for a long period of time, meaning we could stay in the 30s for highs coming up by, say, Friday, Saturday, maybe even into Sunday as well. Cloud cover really limited to the southern third of the state for now. The storm system we have to watch for is still well off to our north and west. That starts to work its way in by Thursday. So here is the setup. Another clear and cold night on the way, and then that storm starts to approach. Now, before the storm gets here, we will drive a major league front in across the state. So that will set the stage so that anything that comes out of this storm as it crosses New Mexico will likely be in the form of snow. So the cold air gets in place on Thursday, and then the possibility of snow for Friday and Saturday. It does look like a good bet to have a mountain snowstorm here. The question is, will we see a valley snowstorm? And there is at least that possibility, and we do need to pay attention to it because this storm has enough cold air and probably has enough moisture and lift with it to really give us a shot at making things very interesting Friday and Saturday. And you can see that reflected in your Durango 7-day forecast, increasing chances of snow, especially Friday and early Saturday with highs only in the 30s. By Friday, north and west, temperatures here in the 50s and 60s for tomorrow. Then cooler for Thursday and Friday with the chance at snow showers, and that lasts into Saturday as well. South and west, partly cloudy, breezy conditions here. Relatively quiet through Thursday, although it could be breezy to windy Thursday. Friday into Saturday, best shot at picking up rain snow mixes in the valleys and the possibility of Gila snow as well. South and east, not much over the next couple of days, but we will see some gusty winds by Thursday, and then the possibility of heavy mountain snow around the Ruidoso and Cloudcroft areas. We could also see some plain snow as well, not only in the southeast, but up to the northeast too. And look at the temperatures. Tomorrow, 60 degrees in Las Vegas, nice and comfortable. Going to whack off 25 degrees on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, temperatures continue to drop. Saturday's high, just 24 with the possibility of snow. Northern mountains, temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Windy for tomorrow, and then even windier coming up for Thursday with the possibility of snow. Really Thursday night and Friday and Saturday as well. 56 in Estancia, 61 in Tejeras and Cedar Crest, 60 out in Sandia Park. Here in the metro area, temperatures for the most part high 50s and some low 60s for tomorrow. Winds out of the south 10 to 15. Those winds go up considerably coming up throughout the day on Thursday. We're going to see wind gusts possibly around 60 miles an hour. And if we're going to see snow in the metro, Friday night into Saturday is our best shot with highs only in the 30s.
So we suddenly go from our highs being our low, our lows being our highs.
Right. That's exactly right. And we're starting to see the temperatures are trending down here. So this is not going to be necessarily a repeat of what we had last year, but it is going to be really, really cold.
Okay, we'll be right back.
If you take pictures with your smartphone, beware. Those pictures may be telling secrets about you that you don't want people to know. I'm Dean Staley. That story in my special assignment tonight on News 13 at 10.
There's more news ahead at 5:30. Dick Niffing is in the Newsplex with a preview.
Kim, millions and millions and millions of dollars in unpaid red light camera fines in Albuquerque. With the cameras going away, will those fines be forgiven, or will there be a final push to collect those millions? Also, 3 members of one family murdered in a community where everybody knows everybody. Somebody must know something about this deadly mystery that has people uptight and worried. Now here's a preview of tonight's CBS Evening News.
Herman Cain tells his advisors that he's reassessing his candidacy for president. This after a woman alleges a long-term affair with him. We spoke with GOP candidate Newt Gingrich about Cain's problems and Gingrich's own rising campaign. Plus, the disastrous Texas drought and how it will impact our global economy, perhaps for years to come. Those stories tonight on the CBS Evening News.
It's going to be rough, but not tomorrow, so enjoy it. Tomorrow, highs in the high 50s, partly to mostly sunny skies. Thursday, cold front, big-time wind, and the possibility of snow Friday and Saturday with highs in the high 30s.
Okay, thanks, Mark. We'll see you back here at 5:30.